think it'd be illegal if I drove home drunk. Well, no, I don't think. I know it's illegal, all right? I'm not encouraging such.
My passenger doesn't drink alcohol.
Oh, and we're going
passenger. We are live. We're there's 32 people already, 9 likes.
Woo.
People smashing the like button.
Yo.
It's like they've been here before.
Button.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yes, this is how they got hacked. Welcome.
This is how they got hacked. 30?
30?
30?
30.
30?
Tom Lawrence here.
Xavier D. Johnson.
Maurice Nash.
All right.
30.
We've been doing these intro things for a while. We're getting good at that.
Wow. 30.
30.
30. Dedication.
That's nuts.
I appreciate you guys for showing up every week.
Dilly.
There's a lot of people in here now, too. So look at all this.
The Japanese whiskey.
We got mentioned on Reddit, you know. So that's people are apparently sharing the love here.
Thank you. Keep sharing it.
Keep sharing it. Yeah, a couple people mentioned my channel and Pete said, "Oh yeah, check out those how they got hacked channels," and it was in our sysadmin. So
there you go.
Shout out to that.
Nice. Thank you.
That was definitely really cool.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Oh, I should probably pull up all my show notes because we have all kinds of fun in the show.
Woohoo.
There's a lot of stuff that happened, so I actually have some show notes for some stuff.
And we have Japanese whiskey. Ooh, and it smells so good. Oh my gosh. Like, you know, I like Bullet. Don't get me wrong, but this is just like smooth.
Yeah.
It smells like it's smooth. I almost wanted to try it, but I was like, I might.
Oh, man.
It's Friday. I might.
It's Friday.
Oh my God, it's water.
It's
water.
I kind of like this. I'm still a bigger fan of this,
you know why?
but
because,
I do like it.
Because you're drinking this in this, you're remembering that you're drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's alcohol. You drink this and you're like,
oh, I'm going to have some of this.
Like
I like
juice.
it. I like it, though.
It's so good.
We passed this around the office today. This is definitely how, everyone was interested in it, so.
There you go.
Now, let's talk about Zerodium first.
Zerodium.
0-day
guys. And for all you that are out there that don't know who Zerodium is, who are they?
So Zerodium is picture HackerOne, but a little different. So instead of working with people or with vendors to help for proper vulnerability disclosure, they buy them and sell them to nation states. And they don't list their clients. So some assumptions on my part are being made when I say nation states. But I would you probably say nation states
I would assume that at least nation states.
Yes.
I would say that probably some cybercrime syndicates as well. You know,
the 3-letter agencies and such like
certainly,
that. Yeah. And the trouble with that is some of you can try to defend it and say, well, you're protecting the greater good. The problem is if they sell to companies that also use that knowledge and use that attack vector to target people who are trying to do political change, it really just comes down to money. And, it's all about the golden rule. Who has the gold makes the rules. So simple as that. And so back to the Zerodium, I'm not huge under ethics, but this is kind of related here. So the recent Vbulletin pre-auth RC0 day disclosed by a researcher on full disclosure looks like a bug door perfect candidate for the Pony Awards 2020 easy to spot and exploit. Many researchers were selling this exploit for years, and at Zerodium, customers were aware of it for the last 3 years. So it's been in the Zerodium catalog for 3 years. So basically, it's been exploited whenever someone wants to pop a Vbulletin to grab some intel and grab a list. They just, hey, Zerodium, on here, we need that tool, and you buy the tool from them, and they would take care of it before you can get that. So this has actually been in 3 years in the Zerodium list.
I need to figure out who shops at Zerodium and go and get a copy of their wares.
Right.
Yeah, so here's that mixed feelings I have about that. This is something that obviously people have been exploiting. Of course, now that it's out in the wild, this could have been patched 3 years ago because there's a more serious. And I don't have this in the show notes, but there's some. Obviously we can at the bulletin boards that hey, whatever my game bulletin board got cracked, such type of thing. That's fine. What's more serious right now is over in the Netherlands, there was a sex workers bulletin board. And now people stole it, and undoubtedly the nefarious reason they did it was to expose these sex workers, expose clients.
Which makes it extremely dangerous.
Yep. And this is all about a patch that Zerodium was aware of for 3 years. Now, people are saying whether or not it was actually a flaw in Vbulletin because it's so simple, or was a backdoor. Whatever, it existed for 3 years. That's the big takeaway from this.
Wow.
That people were aware, people used it, and of course they want to keep it quiet. So Zerodium's probably not happy if they were making money off selling it, that it's out there. It reduces its value now because now it'll only crack other things, and the fact that it's publicly available exploit now.
Right. No longer on the list for sale.
No longer on the list for sale. So that's
also,
one of those.
Whoever was the last person to buy it, probably a little angry.
Yeah, I paid a lot of money for that, and these guys give it away for free on GitHub. So I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I know where mine lie with stuff like this, because you can't, you want these vulnerabilities closed, not to be the backdoor toolkit of anybody. Because even the NSA, like I brought up reading the Snowden book, there are times when they took, we want them to protect us. We want them to serve their duty as they serve the country. But the other side of that should come with rules, and that should not come at the expense and the kind of runaway that we've seen with the NSA or any of the agencies. There's checks and balances that need to be put in place, and giving them massively powerful tools that they can exploit as needed. We'd rather have the exploits closed because we know inevitably these tools always reach the hands of bad actors. So
100%.
The problem alone we have with the NSA trying to contain them to keep them on the side of the good seems to be a challenge. To go further and say that we hope no bad actors. This is the same argument with, all those places that want their own backdoor keys to things. We want that debate quashed. We don't want governments to have backdoor keys because someone else will get them too.
Right. Yeah, they'll leak. Right. They always leak. No backdoor keys.
See, they should use Jerk Pass. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to come up.
There it is.
There it is, Jerk Pass. At least once there. So, anyways, I thought that was interesting. That's why I have it in my notes there. That was the actual tweet. How brazen are you? It's been in our catalog for 3 years, man. Like, our clients know about this.
I should let you know we got stuff that's not out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That won't be disclosed for another 3 years.
Yeah, in 3 years from now, they'll be tweeting about something else. Oh, you guys finally patched that? Our clients are going to be only a little upset. They've only been able to use it for the last 4.
Right.
Wow. I wonder if there's like some kind of subscription model where I could just get all of the Zerodium stuff.
Oh, I'm sure Zerodium, I don't know how their model works, but I mean, I do know this. I don't think you can just approach them to be a client. They know who is going to call them. They know who, and they're going to sell to, et cetera, et cetera. So I think
can't just pick up the phone and be like, yo.
I want to say, because the fact that they're paying upwards of $1 million plus for each bug exploit, that they don't sell them for that. They have a margin they make. So even though they're reselling them that same exploit multiple times, I think you start with just some zeros in that bank account before you even call them. So it's I don't think you get the wares until they kind of do their own vetting against you. By the way, it's run by hackers. They're not just average people running it either, to top that off. So they're going to see it coming. But this over on Bleeping Computer, it's a bleeping mess.
Oh boy. This ransomware is back?
Not just back. All-star team of affiliates.
They got friends.
They got friends. So this is ransomware as a service model that they built with affiliate links and everything. I mean, they're making as much money, not quite as much as Amazon affiliate links, but they're paying out pretty damn good.
Canned crap, yeah. It's one of those ones.
Mm-hmm. So for those not familiar with the term RAS, it is the ransomware developer allows affiliates to distribute their ransomware in exchange for a portion of the ransom payment. Typically, the affiliates would earn a lion's share of the payment, and the developer would take a lower portion, between 30 and 40%, as their payments for managing the ransomware and the payment system. Affiliates who perform the best would earn higher levels of commission. Of course, I mean, this is like any affiliate thing. And they get a good breakdown of how all this works, the payments, which will blow your mind in terms of the dollars. It's just insane amounts of money going through here. But that is also coming, what's going on in the market is we've commoditized this. What it allows the script kiddies to do, essentially, the script kiddies, we always joke around, like, another hospital got breached, and actually they were asking a really low amount, and someone's like, oh, it's a script kiddie. But the reality is, if that script kiddie would have bought the ransomware as a service model, they would have the playbook, the capabilities and the playbook, the process by which to handle a really heavy transaction. And I think this is, when you see services like this, you almost have the threat of bad actors inside your own establishment, because they know the edge already from the inside. They flip it on the outside. They don't have to have much knowledge other than, I know Sharon will open this email if I send it to her with this header, whammo. they take over, and that person collects quite the hefty commission, especially if they know they have cybersecurity insurance. This is why we keep saying that a lot of these ransomware attacks are breaking the usual threat model, or I mean, not say threat model, but breaking the model that we know about hackers, like the psychology model, I should say. Because hackers, they want to climb the mountain, plant their flag. I conquered this, not destroyed it. I broke through the system you said couldn't be broken.
Right.
Now, these people, the only time we see a name at all is the people advertising it as ransomware, not doing it as I hacked this thing. Because hackers are all about show and tell. That's why DEF CON's so big.
Exactly.
You know, they're not about the money per se. Hell, they're most time almost anarchists and nihilists. A lot of the ones I know that are really good. We're looking at you, Polar. What's the one that did all those different exploits that disappears out in the wilderness? Sandbox Capers completely, like, when you read through the blog posts and read around all the attacks, you're talking about that's a typical hacker where I could probably get $10 million for this exploit. I could have sold this as Zerodium. I'm giving it away. Screw all of you. I don't like normal disclosure processes.
YouTube. I mean, GitHub for you.
Yeah, here, there's good job. That is the absolute typical hacker response. So it's really kind of scary. They break down similarities in code to Grand Crab, and Sodu not Kibi. Is that, how do you think you say that? I'm bad at pronouncing it. You're not going to attempt it either, huh? Leave that up to Tom. But it's really it's an interesting market. This is that back end of what's going on, of why we're seeing such a ramp up in ransomware attacks, which they asked me, and I had some interesting answers when I was on that other podcast. They said, well, you see a lot of ransomware? I said, actually, no, and yes. No, they're not attacking the small businesses as much. We're actually not seeing as many of our clients attacked by ransomware. I'm going to say there's been a downtick in it because they know they won't pay. They know they don't have money. They're after bigger targets. We're seeing an uptick in hospitals lately have been slammed. This last week has been, I mean, I didn't fill the entire news thing up with it, but there's a couple in there, I think, that are just all these hospitals. Like when I was flipping through, you could just scroll through all the hospitals hit. And, you know, before that, it was cities for the last few weeks. So you're seeing a rise of ransomware, but they're targeting an industry. They're targeting a niche with the insurance to pay. Because if you're going to take the risk to attack a person, why not attack big? It's a scaling thing. They attack big. They have a methodology and a process. So I'm actually, they were surprised by the answer on there. Like, what do you mean you're not seeing more of it? We see it every day in the news. It's like, you do. I said, but they're not hitting, you know, as many mom and pop shops. They're not hitting small law firms. I'm just seeing less of it. Even, you know, with our clients, we haven't actually, knock on wood, seen one in a while. Which is impressive.
That's good.
But I think it's because they know they won't pay. When we have seen clients or acquired clients that were hit, they didn't pay. They don't want to pay the people. Sometimes they were, you know, small businesses, and they go, well, we'll just re-enter all this paper and blah, 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 blah. And they were only, in the times they do pay, they're paying out like a $300 or $400 ransom. So for all the trouble the person went through to make $300 or $400, and if you're losing it in 40% commission on your affiliate link, you're like, damn, this sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, you get 1,000 people to do that.
Yeah, well, they're generating unique keys for every one of them. Which, by the way, if anyone tries to share that link with us, I don't know. I didn't put this in the show notes, but I thought about doing it as a debunk. There's some feel-good story about hacking back. Allegedly, the person hacked back and got the keys they paid the ransom but got the keys so they could give the keys to other people. But the story's full of holes because it's vaguely written. And my understanding is that this ransomware, based on all the analysis I've read, the keys are unique to a victim. So there's the story right there from a technical standpoint doesn't hold water. Like, they're not a single set of keys they're generating. The keys are unique per victim. They're actually, that's why this is so successful, is even after these people, who many of them have paid, we were not able to take those keys they paid with and give them to the next guy. That doesn't work. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I wonder what kind of forensics they can do with the public and private key. See, so they should be able to get the private key. That should be what was used to decrypt, right? And the public key should be on the host, which was used to encrypt, right?
If I remember right,
or is it the inverse? I don't know.
The bigger point is, I know some analysis has been done, and they know it's unique keys generated at the time. So they know that they're doing it. They've done a lot of that because the lesser written ones that have fallen out, there's a ton of those places that have all the decryption keys. And so there's all kinds of ciphers for those. There's
NoMoreRansom.org. My bro runs that one.
Yep. So there are places when they have it, but Sodunakibi. We'll go with that. Sodunakai.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm probably saying something that's a bad word. So.
I could be saying something bad in our language.
I'm not gonna do it.
It's bad in our language too, so it means you got ransomware.
Right, ransomed.
So, anyways, the point is with these frameworks, it's getting easier, and this one is well written, which makes it that much more dangerous than some of the other ones previously. So, interesting. That's over at Bleepy Computer. Like I said, all these links will be in the show notes as well. Now, this was not surprising, but someone, and I don't know if this is real or not, so we'll cover both the story and something Steve shared with me today. So first, hackers bypassing some types of 2FA FBI warrants. Well, it's obviously the SIM jacking, like we talked about with Twitter. The CEO got attacked, and it's because so many places rely on SIMs and cell phones as your second factor, which is a horrible idea to rely on your phone number. Meanwhile, anyone with the strongest possible 2FA security will have to consider using like a FIDO hardware token. So they're talking about, upping your game, blah, 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 because they're doing that. But read through this. I was just subjected to one of the most credible phishing attempts. This is a bunch of screenshots from Twitter.
I read this earlier.
Yeah, this is impressive. This is your bank. There was an attempt on your card in Miami, Florida. Me, no. We've blocked the transaction to verify speaking to Peter. What is your member number? He has member number. That's useless by itself. We send a verification PIN to your phone. Get verification in bank's regular. Read the PIN. Read the PIN back to other transactions. Tell me if these are yours. Read transactions. Yes, these are legitimate transactions. Thank you. Now you want to block your PIN to your account so I alert. So here we go. Can't block your card. That is BS. Hangs up calls. Fraud department. They were going back and forth with those 2FA, it sounds like. So what sounds like verification number, they're trying to log in because probably ever used password. Then they got the 2FA by messaging him. That's impressive. Everything before that is, what is your PIN? Seemed totally legit. English is perfect. The bank, and they're calling on the phone, by the way. So perfect English. Ask her to PIN over the phone. Not so much. Stay safe out there. But I mean, they're walking through because they probably reused password. Then they had to get the auth token to them back and forth. That's yeah. That was interesting. So it's out there for sure.
Fish, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
The fishing won't stop.
No, the fishing is never going to stop.
Never going to stop. A whole lot of fishing out there. But, we've talked about this before. Darknet Diaries had episode, and I love that part. And when Tinkersec, what was that one? The title on that one was...
Jeremy in Marketing?
Jeremy in Marketing. Yeah. When Jeremy in Marketing, they're like, how are you going to get past our 2FA? Well, I'm just going to call her because I got her phone number, and it goes to her phone. Hey, you're about to get a message on your phone. Oh, cool. I'm in IT. I need that message real quick so we can finish working on your systems. Great. And they gave it to him right away. Yep. This perfect social engineering. So
done. Checkbox.
Yeah. That's why if you look at something like, you like YubiKey. So
love YubiKey.
That's definitely an option out there to help unlock things.
Keep things locked.
Keep things locked. Keep things very locked down. It's more than password. It's more than your usual 2FA. It takes a physical hardware token. So
U2F.
Yeah, so Captain said, and there was nothing in that Citrix server. That was the most disappointing thing of the Jeremy Marketing, to bypass 2FA and then find nothing in the Citrix server. That was so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
You think you did everything right. You did your OPSEC perfect. You did your tradecraft perfect to get the 2FA. You bypassed it. You did everything you were supposed to do, and then there was nothing in it. This is like Geraldo in that vault back when I was a kid. 2 days of cutting on it. There ain't nothing in it. I got the vault. We're gonna get in here. It's Capone's vault. There wasn't nothing in it.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's old enough to remember. Yeah. Xavier's. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I'm not a movie or TV guy anyway.
He doesn't even know who Geraldo is.
Geraldo used to be a news reporter, and he had gotten Capone's vault allegedly, and they were cutting it open on live TV. This would have been the late 80s, early 90s. So it was going to be this big live reveal for what they found in a vault, and they did. They cut into it, they got it open, and there wasn't a damn thing in it.
He just did that for ratings.
Well, and it kind of worked because everyone was really interested in it, but when they found nothing, it also made everyone hate them. They're like, we watched this for nothing because you wanted to be something. There wanted to be something in the vault. There wasn't anything in the damn vault.
Kyle says he was so bummed there was nothing in the vault.
Yeah. Yeah, try hacking my bank account. It's overdrawn. Dude, after my divorce, that was my joke. I'm like, they're like, don't you need all this identity protection? I said, no one wants to steal it now. It's worth nothing. It's just my own version of protection. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. I thought this was a good article. Look at this. California outlaws facial recognition system in police body cams.
Yeah, I did read this.
Yes. So
ACLU wins.
they won. So on Tuesday, California passed in law a 3-year block on the use of facial recognition in police body cams that turns them into biometric surveillance devices. This is surprising, coming as it does from the state with the impending expansive privacy laws. So they're really getting in there. This is really cool that they're forward thinking and hoping they set the precedents that other states follow, including here in Michigan, where we've had a lot of debate about this and a lot of concern and not a lot of public knowledge on it because, as we talked to 3 episodes ago, it was a closed door meeting and the police commissioner's like, oh, I don't want these to be closed door meetings. And they removed him from the meeting so they could close the door. They didn't want him reporting on it. So the other, they noted the technology's tendency to screw up. Facial recognition and other biometric surveillance technology has been repeatedly demonstrated to misidentify women, young people, and people of color and create an elevated risk of harmful false positive identifications. And that's the thing. It's not that this tool may not have some use case in the future when it gets better. It's not there yet. It is too early to bring to market. That's one of the big points that they're trying to make here. This is just... we're not ready for it. There may be a time when it does it. And there's a new book out that I got to read. I'll find the name of it and add it to the show notes. But I listened to the interview with the author that says he's very much like this. He goes, AI isn't there yet, guys. Yeah. Quit glamorizing it. Yeah. And he's really a naysayer of his, he goes, we attribute because of the way we think that the AI has thought of things. You see the articles. I like the way they, but it hasn't. He says, you get people excited. AI is now playing chess in ways humans have never played. No, it's exploring possibilities because humans romanticize things like you save the queen and stuff like that. So it makes opening moves different in chess. It makes sacrifices of the queen in order to win that you wouldn't make as a chess player. So it is able to beat chess players. It is able to do that, but it's doing it not out of intelligence, out of options. And I think that's something where we misrepresent AI a lot of times, and we all get guilty of. We get excited, and I watched my car get scared of a puddle today. So as someone who drives a car that has machine learning in it, I don't know what made it panic, and me and my son were laughing, but it decided the puddle was going to hit the brakes, and I mean puddle because it was raining, not big flood or flooded road. I don't know what it's seen, but it decided it was time to brake. Oh. So, yeah. And it doesn't tell me this information. And I could call Tesla and they could do some telemetry and do it. I didn't care enough. It was a real brief thing. And I'm just like, I don't know. So,
did it just
whatever.
Click the button again. And
did it break suddenly or did it break safely?
A little safely. It brakes safely. And it also said it started slowing down. It let off the gas. It hit the brakes, not hard. And it beeps at you really loud and takes it out of autopilot and says, take over immediately. So it's just like, and you're like, I was just goofing off, and now I'm paying attention again. So it worked as expected.
I was telling Zay that when it doesn't recognize the road, it just beeps twice, like grab the steering wheel.
Yep.
So we were going around a fairly dangerous corner in Detroit.
Yeah.
On the highway. And I'm like, man, I wonder if a Tesla can do this. I need to know. And Mo was like, no, I'd just give up. Yeah. They just drive off the road.
Yep.
Like, you just be like, oh no, grab the steering wheel, and it's like,
well, they redid the Fort Street, and I got to do some updated videos because now that version 10's out, my goal is to make a few more updated videos on how the autopilot works. But right there, Fort Street, one of the things it recognizes, we have left turn lanes that are really like the Michigan left, as we call it, but it's the way the divided highways go. The Tesla, on occasion, will get confused while it's supposed to be going down a 50-mile-an-hour road and get into a turn lane, and then it panics because it doesn't know what to do. It also panics when it sees some of the roundabouts. It will go the wrong way around a roundabout occasionally. So if you go into the roundabouts where they're more head-on instead of curved in, how they have the one that goes head-on and they have the one that curves in, it gets confused there. So that's one of those things. Like the AI systems, we get all excited about self-driving cars and summon, but the reality is they're just smarter computers, a little bit better algorithms than we had previously.
Still needs to be human assisted.
Yeah.
This is why you're not supposed to be asleep in your Tesla.
No. And this is why we talked about Cylance. Everyone was like, oh, Cylance is the last antivirus you'll ever need. It'll never defeat our AI system, until someone attached a game to a virus and go, watch this, click, and it bypassed it. This is the thing where if we rely too much on these machines, whether for facial recognition or through the fact that we rely on them to, we'll just let the antivirus figure it out by making it smart. That way we don't have to be smart and write definitions. We'll just say this is a good file, this is a bad file. Computer, solve for good files and solve for bad files with training data, and then someone games the system. Humans are much better at actually gaming systems than computers are, because they don't attribute why. They understand things by pattern recognition. They won't attribute the why. They don't ask why either. When you have a computer trained on what an elephant looks like, it actually, when they do the AI sets, it's really interesting. It depends more on the texture of an elephant than the shadow. That's why if you show it in a different texture, it goes, that's not an elephant. And any human, even a 3-year-old child, goes, that's an elephant. But the thing, all you do, you put a fur on an elephant, it goes, that's not an elephant. But you're like, yeah, it is. I just changed the texture. But that isn't how the data sets are trained. So you have to think about that, which is why the AI for people works poorly. Enough ranting on that, right?
Yeah.
So this, tell me if you heard this before. Critical Microsoft Remote Desktop flaw fixed in security update in the latest patch Tuesday. But this is different than you think. This is the reverse. If you connect to an infected server, the person initiating the connection gets infected. This is not, so what they have to do, which, by the way,
connect to an infected RDP.
Right, it reverses back to you. So made me think of the Uno reverse card. Yeah, it's very clever. And you're probably thinking, well, this is edge case because they'd have to compromise an RDP server. Really? Okay. Did you not see our last 20 episodes where we kept talking about all the RDP flaws? So there's plenty of unpatched RDP servers, lots of them out there, publicly exposed. Yeah, people are patching them. So if they pop one of those servers and users are regularly connecting, they get the reverse to happen to them. So now the users can get infected because it can push it back to them. So it does require an infected server, and it's a pushback. So I thought this was an interesting update because it's actually in the RDP client side, which I haven't seen this before. I thought you usually don't think about that. You think about the home computer or the computer connecting to being safe. The thing I was wondering about is like I use to connect to RDP, I'll use Ramia and Linux to connect to it. So I don't know if that flaw exists in there at all. I doubt it because if I had to guess without digging into they didn't have the absolute technical details, but I have a feeling it's related to the way it shares printers, because printer connections come over RDP when you're connecting with a Windows client, and you can map certain things like drives over it. So it probably had to do one of those two combinations, because those are both ways it could actually get data back from the other server. It's kind of a nice feature, the local printing, from a standpoint of it works well if you have to have a local printer attached and you want to attach to your RDP. But I've always thought that could be an interesting security vulnerability.
Right. And
someone else thought the same thing, I guess. So that was kind of interesting on there. Different than the other ones, though.
Pretty sure audio and printing are both.
Yeah, audio as well.
Scary.
Yeah. Now, this is, I like this one here. Took a while to do this. And I like his password, too. This guy was thinking about security. So UNIX co-founder Ken Thompson's BSD password has finally been cracked.
That was so exciting when I saw this.
I know. I thought this was really cool.
Master. Mm-hmm. It only took, 30 years?
30 years to crack it. By the way, when you look at his plain text password,
It's still fucking next level.
Dude, the guy it's next level, but it's also kind of clever because once you realize that was probably a reference to pawn queen opening moves. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely clear. This isn't bad either. // it's at least weird enough. I mean,
that's / comma / comma.
It's just playing over here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Born Wendy. We don't know who Wendy is, so someone says they still want to know Wendy. So that's the plain text. Wendy was mentioned, and AXOLOTL. Not bad. Unix automation tool to make the first Fortran compiler. Oh, okay. So that's his password there. So pretty neat. Pretty cool. It was it's kind of interesting to think back then, because these guys, one, were using good passwords, but two, because of the way things were done with images, when you uploaded your image as you were building it, the whole image always got backed up. You didn't you didn't do a build like you do now where you don't have passwords in it and stuff like that. So when they built the BSD images, this would have been in the 90s or before then. 40 years old. No, God, that would have been like in the 80s when they were building these. They're uploading whole images of the system, and you copy those images to other systems. So they had the wherewithal that would happen, but based on the compute power of the time and the concept of reverse hashing, it wasn't likely to reverse your password. But still good read, good story. And
20 years later.
20 years later.
Or
So
30.
Or 30.
That's nuts.
That
was super exciting, though. When I read that, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that was still kind of cool. Some people, and I like the Hacker News' spin on it because it was nice and logical. A bunch of other ones turned into like UNIX passwords cracked. They tried as if it was a security story,
right.
And they're trying to repeat the article. Now, I like diving into people who do whole debriefs on how they wrote an attack. How is this attack written? So we talked about all the EXIM flaws. Mm-hmm. Here's some EXIM flaws, not just average EXIM flaw. This is the recent one. And they go through step by step how they got the data, length, next, chunk, metadata. This is how they would use the XM heap-based overflows exploitation, how they were pushing data, how they were creating the heap, step by step, well documented to create this. So understanding vulnerability. And these are those write-ups if you want to know what people do who do the pen testing, who do the proof of concepts, trying to push things out there. This is really interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. These write-ups are really helpful if you want to learn how to do it because, well, get yourself XM, don't patch it, load it in your lab, not somebody else's. Just because there's a bunch of them out there doesn't mean you should test it on somebody else's.
Right.
And poke away on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. That's badass.
Yeah. So definitely, being a pen tester, it's nice that more and more publications are out there, so it encourages more people to start pen testing because they get the idea of how it's done. Back to the hospitals. U.S. healthcare provider admits data breach.
Yeah.
Yeah, phishing attack against Methodist Hospitals may have exposed medical personnel. Like I said, I just threw one article in here, but if you type in medical provider breach, you have your pick of hospitals that were breached in the last 7 days.
It's pretty bad.
It's been a massive target of them. So that I know of, because a lot of these hospitals, some of them have their internal IT, so it doesn't sound like they were the attack vector like Texas where they attacked the IT provider. It sounds like they were individual attacks, but probably common phishing email, hey, here's the x-ray you asked for, et cetera, and things like that. So those are the exploits that would have led to it.
Look at the attack surface at a hospital. Look how many people you have to be able to socially engineer.
It's tons of them, and they're busy. They're overworked. They work too many hours. I have 2 daughters that are nurses working at the universities, and they're on their 12-hour shifts nonstop doing that stuff.
And so on top of that, you still have to think about cyber criminals trying to phish you.
Yeah,
you just like
their focus is the patients, and they're constantly reevaluating patient safety because of how many hours they work. Add the mental thing of I'm supposed to stop and stare at this email and make sure it's not a phishing email while there's a code red going off and another guy with a gunshot rolling in the front door. There's a lot going on in the ER, so you would probably attack the most chaotic spot because you know there's an edge case in there. You know, you call in, you get some email, you're trying to get information to them as the attacker. It's a huge attack surface. Defending a hospital, not easy in any way.
Not at all. Not at all.
That would be a challenge for sure.
Yes, that would definitely be a challenge.
And I think we
Good news is hospitals make a lot of money, so they can afford you.
True. No, insurance companies make a lot of money is what I learned.
True also.
Yeah, very true. The insurance companies are where the real money's at. Because, and by the way, it's both sides. They're going to make money on all the healthcare, and then they're going to make money on all the ransom they pay out because they're just going to raise their rates for paying out the ransomware. So the insurance companies are just going to keep winning here. Somewhere in between, some lawyers make some money too, I'm sure. So we actually kind of talked about, I think, not too long ago, the Imperva security update. Imperva is a web application firewall. So obviously we're talking about them having a breach being a seriously big issue because web application firewalls...
They're not so impervious.
The Imperva is not impervious. But this is the follow-up, the write-up about the security incidents. And right here, what happened too long, didn't read. Our investigation identified an unauthorized use of administrative API key in one of our production AWS accounts in October of 2018, which led to an exposure of a database snapshot containing emails and hashed and salted passwords. So basically, when they were in the move of infrastructure, sounds like they had some API keys they left in the open. This is always scary when you're moving infrastructure. You have to expose certain things, and then you didn't delete those things you exposed or left it wide open long enough for someone to get a foothold, establish a beachhead in there, or grab a snapshot of the old data. It sounds like they had none of the new data, so everything was from that old data. So it's going to be kind of interesting. The other thing I like is they have each step of all the corrected actions, how it's not going to happen again, how they're going to watch for exfiltration. This is kind of what you want out of a company, which obviously you want to build their trust again. So to build their trust, they're doing a full disclosure here, step by step, of every little piece of the incident, how they're doing it, what their control and process is to stop it from happening.
Right.
And I like that they admitted, hey, when we moved infrastructure in 2017 to 2018, we left exposure on there. So they didn't get into the new infrastructure. They were able to compromise the old infrastructure that they left open. But it's a lot of write-up on there. They have key takeaways, fact breakdown, communication with the clients, just everything you want to see from someone doing and following a process that did get breached. This is how you survive a breach, how you come back from a breach, how you gain your trust back in your clientele. This is everything that happened, full disclosure, as opposed to being mystery people. So I thought that was a good write-up on there. Yeah, that's a good way to come clean on it. That, yeah, kind of like we fucked up. This is how we fucked up. This is how we're not going to fuck up again. That's
Basically.
So that was a pretty decent read there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it in the show notes so you can gather up all the details. And the takeaways are nice because they're takeaways that maybe as a company you can apply now to what they're doing. And it's always the important part, so you don't become,
Right. A victim.
a victim and have to do the disclosures there.
Right.
That's actually the last news story I have. So of all the things that happened, I ran through them kind of fast.
I have a couple. Let me see. I need access either to the notes or you want me to drop it in the Keybase?
Yeah, dropping Keybase.
Cool. The first one, always finding juicy stuff. So if anyone ever has eaten at McAllister's Deli, Moe's Southwest Grill, or Schlossky's, they have been breached, and they have your card details.
Not the sandwiches.
Yeah, hold on, let me drop you the link.
Yeah, you dropped the link. Not the sandwiches.
The sandwiches, they got everything.
They got the sandwiches? So my credit card got breached.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Why
So
is my
I found a
copy
flaw in
and paste not
PayPal that I knew my credit card was about to get breached, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I had a pre-authorization for a penny. I knew as soon as I seen it, I'm like, shit. Got the notice, pre-authorized for a penny. I'm like, they're about to hit my card. Contact PayPal. PayPal won't let you shut down the card until there's fraud on the card.
Wow.
They won't let you shut it down either with a pre-authorization because I can't dispute a pre-authorization. You have to have a transaction dispute. Then they hit me. Then they got the $150, which is all they took on the card, which is actually pretty small. But they got the $150 off the card, and once they did that, and it took them about half an hour between the penny authorization and the hit where they withdrew cash, then I could do the breach thing, and then they shut the card down. And they gave me the money back, but I'm kind of like, I could have saved you guys $150.
No, we want the evidence.
We don't want the evidence, which I guess could be true, too, that they want the evidence. Because obviously they did it a cash payment at a gas station in Indiana. I thought that was weird. Anyways.
So $150 at a gas station?
Yeah, that's the second time.
Phillips.
Last time it happened, it was the
Maxed
same.
out on the Phillips.
Yeah.
When it got hit before, it was gift cards at a shoe store.
Yep.
So
Sound about right.
Yeah,
They offer
same amount.
gift cards.
Yeah,
Turning gift cards into Bitcoin.
Yep, gift cards into Bitcoin. $150 last time too. It was like a $150 trade. Well, kind of weird. I mean, my PayPal has quite a higher limit than $150. Like they could have done something real, but that's all right. They don't know that they have a business card. Notice of payment card security incident. McAllister's Deli. Oh, yes. Yes. Call Equifax. They'll help you. They care. We'll give you some credit card monitoring. I get at least 2 new cards a year from each of my companies from credit cards getting lifted from places that get breached.
Yeah.
It's just like part of the process now because I have a few credit cards for my business. I have 0 for my personal life, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. That's how I avoided getting hacked. I pay everything personally. I've been off the grid for a long time. I pay everything cash for my personal life. I don't need the trouble. I don't need the incidents. I don't need the bullshit. Being offline is it's rewarding.
So So the other story I found was hackers breach Vbulletin and start collecting card details from thousands of sites.
Oh, not this.
Illusion.
Yes.
More than 6,500 stores have been compromised, but the number could be around 20,000. Fair enough. Wow. Wow. This is another thing. So I think we're going to start seeing more of this with all these companies. The Mage card attack.
Yeah, classic Mage card.
They're really popping in a lot of these. I still think my absolute favorite that we covered a while back was when you put that little seal on your website, the little seal that we're cyber protected. Not the McAfee one, but there was some third-party company offering that.
Mm-hmm.
That company that was offering the seal of protection,
They
got breached. So because that was on all the sites, they could then used it to botnet it and then watch all the credit cards go through, which I thought was amazing. I'm like, that's the most genius move ever, because you're thinking you got this whole, seal of approval thing, and oh, well, you got another one.
Oh yeah.
iTunes 0 day.
Got a couple.
Oh crap! Operators of the bit payment ransomware have been spotted using 0 day and iTunes for Windows mechanism to bypass antivirus detection of infected hosts. Aw. Apple patched the 0 day this week, so if you have iTunes, who runs iTunes? Do they still run it? No? Okay.
I wish
I'm not an Apple person, so I don't know. I know you run it probably on your Mac, but do you run it on Windows?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, if you have a Windows machine and you have an iPhone or
is it needed
Apple,
still?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's still needed
Okay.
right now. That's the
I
problem.
assumed it was all just done now via the cloud, like you didn't need the iTunes.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
gonna move
I don't
into
do-
that.
I don't
so
do cloud backups. Not from a
yeah, I don't do
Got
cloud.
it.
Ooh, no.
Okay. Fair enough. I wasn't
I've
sure.
broken into enough of them not to do it.
Yeah.
It's bad. All the notes and all the pictures and all
Everything.
Got it.
It's bad.
Everything.
SMS now is bad.
Messages back and forth.
Yeah, Android handles that differently, so maybe
It's
that's a
Yeah, yours is
It's-
through Google.
Yeah.
This is worse.
Depends on how you back it up or what you back up. I'm selective because I don't back up.
Yeah, see, I back up locally.
Right.
Yeah.
I do that with mine too. I'm only backing up certain things.
I back up everything locally.
Locally.
Yeah, I do back up all my photos to the Google Cloud, and there's also only boring photos on my phone. I do not use my phone for other photos. I actually have camera still.
But then I could get your boring photos.
And
I
you'd
could
be
check
really disappointed in
the metadata.
Yeah,
I could
and
see
know where I
you
took them.
live.
Hell, I post them on Twitter anyway, so you would learn very, very little. You'd probably learn more because I add more context to them when I post them on Twitter and Facebook.
So this is an interesting article I found. It said Australian researchers have created what they call the largest public available data set of malicious internet activity of its kind.
Oh,
They
that's
hope
cool.
It will help cybersecurity specialists predict what security threats the future could bring.
That's really interesting. The WannaCry ransomware attack. I listened to Steve Gibson's latest episode on the Security Now podcast. He breaks down some really interesting, weird little things that happen with WannaCry.
Mm-hmm.
So first, when Hutchinson registered the domain, WannaCry could have gone completely like a next level explosion of it.
Yeah.
That register of a domain shut it down. Kind of an accidental happenstance. He goes, what if I did this? Then someone copied the ransomware and removed that kill switch from it and redeployed it. Well, that gets interesting too, because they made one slight flaw that caused it not to deploy again. There was a flaw in the programming.
Okay.
It started to spread but wouldn't actually deploy because of the flaw that they had left in there. And by the time enough awareness was raised, before anyone tried again, which they did, a lot of computers got patched and slowed it down. So it's kind of an interesting series of happenstance that it almost was a huge deal, but between Mark Hutchinson and then the next person, whoever copied the code, duplicated it, and removed it, but then broke another piece of it, it almost took us all out for a little while. It almost turned into like a serious internet attack. And it's not that it's not serious, because it did infect a lot of machines, but it still didn't infect the rate it would have.
Yeah, that it could have, yeah. So I know we did this story before. We reported about basically the whole Brazil being hacked.
Oh, I thought it was Ecuador last time.
Was it Ecuador?
Yeah, it was Ecuador, so this is the first time. So now it's Brazil.
It's Brazil now,
Just
so 92 million Brazilians.
South of us, getting all fucked up.
Records are for sale. starting at $15,000.
Wow.
That's pretty scary.
You can buy everyone in Brazil's records for 15,000.
16 gigabytes in SQL format.
That's nice. That is nice. You know a story we should dig into, and maybe Dark Knight Diaries should dig into it as well. So when part of I want to say, and don't quote me on this for sure, people, don't crucify me if I'm wrong on this. Linus Tech Tips, the big media company, the partner company with them, that I can't remember what it's called, something systems, NX Systems. They went out of business. So there's a whole controversy. Linus used to work for them. They went out of business, and their servers went up for sale with the data. And an investigative reporter started going over it and finding out how much you could buy copies of the data for, all the customer lists that included everything, all the sale history, all the stuff on there. And it started as a Reddit post that someone was doing this investigation because it was so inexpensive for them to do, to go meet with these people to see if they really had it. And he found it on an ad on Craigslist. He's like, what about all the data? Oh, we got that. Can I buy the customer list? Yeah, we're selling it. Can we meet? Yeah, we're only taking cash for the customer list. And they were just dumping massive amounts of database with all kinds of information from this company. Went out of business. It was crazy. Wow. So, yeah, it's so definitely... Yeah, gotta like the drive. It's definitely it's crazy how much of it's out there for sale for pennies on the dollar almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit's nuts.
Your data is for sale.
Data's always for sale.
What? Class action filed against CafePress following data breach?
Yeah, someone in the chat asked about the CafePress, like what's going on with it, and a class action suit is going on. So if you were affected in the breach, you should get some money.
Yep. So data exposed by the breach include email addresses, names, physical addresses, phone numbers, and passwords stored in a SHA-1 hash. The suit has been filed by consumer rights law Fing and Scott, which alleges CafePress failed to comply with best practice alerting customers of the data breach. According to the complaint, CafePress first notifications appeared on our website on September 5th, but the company did not directly notify its customers till October 2nd of 2019. Yeah. We're still kind of waiting for, I would say, the GDPR in America or some real prosecution under it, because these companies, obviously CafePress, I believe, is international. So when I want to see if one of these places get hit under GDPR, like I want to know if they're in there. I've never looked at weakinfo.com.
We leak info, yeah.
Yeah. WeLeakInfo.com. Fast and efficient. Neat. Passwords. Ooh. Let's see if my password's in here. Hold on, what's my query? So my password is my name. I'm not a robot. Incorrect. Is that I'm not a robot? Aw, it thinks I'm a robot. Oh well.
It won't let you go?
Nope.
Nope, doesn't look like it. Aw.
And you just leaked your IP.
I tell you what, if any of you can't figure out my IP, it should only take you, I don't know, less than 5 minutes to find. I'm going to throw it out there, guys. Finding my IP is kind of arbitrary.
Now you know where Tom's located.
Yeah, and if you couldn't spend a few minutes and figure it out, you didn't do your homework. I'm going to throw that out there, guys. We have given you an hour. Let's go. I haven't been in a chat at all, so I'm going to jump over here.
I am hot.
Yes, it's warm in here. I'm going to go turn the AC down because it's way too hot. I'm dying to entertain everyone.
Let's do a scan on Tom's IP.
Be careful.
That shows no one else is here.
We hack back.
We definitely hack back.
Oh, I turned AC down. I know I wait till the end of the show. I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what you gotta do? Just get up. It's in there. The knob's in there. By the way, I don't have a Nest. Why don't I have a Nest? Why do you guys think I don't have a fucking Nest?
I got a Nest.
Oh, he's got one. You can fuck with his.
I like my Nest. It's awesome.
My home life. You know, so many people always ask me like, what electronics I have at home. Even less than I have here. It's one of those things. Once you work in tech, I don't know. There's like parts of your life you wall off from it. You're like things that are disconnected, things that are offline.
Someone asked, what's that speed reading software that Tom uses? It's called Spreed, and it's only on Google, so sorry.
Really?
Yep. I'm sad about it.
Oh, I didn't know it didn't work in Fire. I read all my
Spree.
articles in Google Chrome.
It's Spree
How to
with
have it.
2 E's too. It's irritating. I'm
Oh.
so sad about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, there's a few other ones out there. There's other companies that do it.
but I like the one that you showed.
This one's the only one that's like free with no ads and a bunch of pay crap in it.
That
So
was nice.
Does-
When is Zero Cool gonna get his channel?
I just told him I'm procrastinating.
Bro, you just gotta make the channels. It has nothing to do with creating content.
we look exhausted because we're really hot right now.
Yeah, it's hot as shit.
It got really warm in here
You're
today.
drinking
I
this
like it.
premium whiskey under these hot lights.
I don't do well in
It's
being.
Friday.
And this guy's talked about moving to Florida. He's like, Florida. I'm like, what the fuck?
I love hot weather. I don't like sitting under 7 hot lights and next to hot computer, hot computer, hot computer.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
It gets warm. It gets warm in this little area.
And
here.
not to mention, like, you know, I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
It's not like I could just, like, you know.
It's
move
like
around.
It's like we're being interrogated too.
It's a lot.
There's a lot going on over here.
I used to spend summers in New Orleans, so I'm not afraid of heat. It's just uncomfortable right here. Stuffy.
Yeah.
Well, since I am anemic, I can't tell. It feels perfectly fine to me.
At least it's not snowing soon.
This is true.
Actually, that's a nice thing in the winter. Winter comes, this place it's easy to keep cold
Oh,
because we
for
turn the heat
sure.
off at 6 o'clock here.
Hmm.
We let the building get because heating is expensive, so we turn the heat off at 6 and we don't turn it back on until 9:30. So all night the building just sits there getting colder and colder. So as soon as 6 o'clock hits, the heat just stops.
They said, "What's the
Sheesh.
bottle with the green label?" That-
This is some Bullet
Wow. Right.
Bullet Rye 95. Good stuff. Good stuff. Can't wait for the 10 inches of snow. Yeah. That's a different problem. I see how the Tesla handles in the snow.
Yeah, that's what we were also pondering that on the way over here because we saw a Tesla and it looked like they had it slammed. It was so low to the ground.
Model S,
Was
they
it-
have they have adjustable suspension. You can lower them, and they'll lower as the faster you go, the lower they'll go.
That's-
They'll swing tight to the ground. They have air ride.
I cannot wait till I get my Model S.
There you go. Yeah, Model S. You can. It's kind of cool that they have that on them.
I cannot wait.
They have some
There's
adjustments.
nothing like air ride.
Yeah. They talked about making an air ride model of the Model 3. I don't know if they will or not. I heard rumors of that. I don't know if there's going to be offered or not. Because the Model 3 is it doesn't come with some of the features the Model S had because, well, it's half the price. And one of the things Elon focused on is not just making an electric car, but with the Model S, it was one of those high-end brands. So all the high-end features you'd expect
Yeah.
out of a car that costs $120,000 are there. You got the speed, the power, air ride, suspension, lots of tweaking and adjustments. That's the kind of stuff you do on an expensive car. That way you attract the right audience to it. Model Y. Actually, check out Motor Trend's latest article for those of you looking for the Model Y. They got some sneak peeks of it. Because there's Model Ys on the road. You know, they've been testing them.
I haven't seen it.
Can't wait to see the Model Z.
Oh, there's not going to be Model Y as the last model.
What?
X, E, X, and Y. Those are the model runs he's making.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
So, like, for the rest of Tesla's existence, they're all going to look exactly the same. 50 years from now, he's going to make a Model Y that looks like a Model Y today.
He'll be on Mars in less than that. So when he
Exactly.
leaves in Mars, I don't know who runs the company.
Wow.
Once he gets to Mars, I don't know what his plan is. But he said it's all he's doing is making an SEX and Y. He's like, when I read his books from like 4 or 5 years ago, before he had even released some of the Model S wasn't even on there. He said, I'm going to release a Model S, X, and Y. That's it. He's like, that's what I'm going to do.
So, what's the Roadster?
The Roadster is just the Roadster because the Roadster's
Yeah.
a bring back of the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the original car they had was a Roadster.
Yep, that was
Listen,
the first
listen
car.
to me. Never mind.
You're like, Elon, if you're watching this show,
Don't be stupid.
I think at some point Elon will either just sell the company. Once he's created what he wants to create, that's where he took the company. It doesn't mean he won't sell it, let someone else do it, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't mean someone else won't take over and do something
Would
else.
you like more models?
No. It's just that, well, for one, yes, right? Because if his mantra is, oh, well, I'm going to make the Model S look like the Model S forever, right?
Right.
I'm never going to change the body lines on the Model S. Well, that's not going to work. You got to make at least a Model S2.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
it's
the
gonna.
S3.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the 2020 Model S? It's
The body panel.
sexy.
We'll
It's
see.
the exact same.
The body panels are the same. They are. The body
It's-
panels are the same.
It's not. I thought I saw a couple
So
extra
what
curves.
happens-
little
Nope.
So what I'm
hooks.
getting at is like us as humans,
Mhm.
we want something. Like I
He-
feel like he's gonna age. He's gonna age out.
He said that he did this. He talked about this in an interview that he says he thinks that he was innovative enough that he doesn't have to change him yet. He didn't give a timeline at all. He was vague about that
I
if he would
agree.
ever do it. But
You agree?
I agree.
he said I think the cars look fine. That's
I
kind
think
of
they
his.
look fine also.
Now,
I think
what he
we're
has
spoiled
done-
as Americans, we have.
We've just become used to cars changing models.
Oh,
You could buy a
Americans.
Cadillac that changes every year.
Yeah, that's
There
true.
you go. Buy a Cadillac.
There you go.
The
This
body
is-
style changes
This is
every
where we're
year.
at, right? This is America. All of our world, all of the people in the world, you just saw it. Either you're going to be extreme over here and get a model every different year, or you're going to be extreme over here and never change your model. There's
But-
no room
but-
for being just normal in the middle. You have to be an extremist.
Yes.
That shit's irritating.
Well,
I'm
you know,
sorry.
it's funny though because what they have done is the part that matters to a lot of people care performance. Like they do have different names. They've changed the performance around. The new plaid motor is what it's called. That's the code name for it. Is a triple motor design. It's impressive. Like the underside of them, because for each year they do have, there are different batteries. There are different.
Yeah.
Right. The different components is cool,
yeah.
but I figure
It's just the body
if-
style
If
was
in
changed.
15 years, 10 years, the body still looks the same, we're gonna have to give me something else.
No, in 15 years, what you're going to be able to do is just swap the body.
hmm
But the body's never changing to be swapped.
It's where they put the money.
No, I'm saying like
It takes a lot to change the body around. That's like the retooling. I know from when my dad had worked in GM, when they did model change, dude, that's a massive undertaking of shut down for 2 weeks, retool everything for model change.
So
It's,
instead of doing that, you sell the car for 20 years exactly the same way.
as long as here's the thing,
I
public
don't know,
demand is
man.
there.
I'm thinking to myself like,
He'll sell it until
imagine
public
a
demand
Model
goes
T
away.
in 1930s.
But he'll sell it until demand goes away. That's what's going to drive the ultimate answer is demand. As long as people are buying his car. By the way, I shared an infographic on my Twitter. They're not just buying them. The demand has now
Yeah.
the model they have now outsold all the other EV brands.
Period.
They've outsold Chevy. They're outselling all of them. All those numbers are there. They've got 1.7 million Teslas on the road, and they're now shipping over 100,000 a month or some crazy numbers now. They've reached peak production. So as long as people are buying them, why would I change it? That's kind of I get it. I think once the demand changes or someone comes up with a competitor and they say, "Wow, I'd buy that Tesla. It's not as sexy as this." Because if you ever seen a Fisker Karma,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
that was an electric car. And don't get me wrong, the BMW one, that's kind of a sucky car. You can get one for pretty cheap, but boy, does it look cool.
Yeah.
What was that BMW electric that they made? I can't remember the name of it. i8.
Yeah, the i8.
I don't think the i3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BMW.
they did make an i3 as well. It's like a small compact car.
But that's the Finagle.
I won't lie, that's a sexy car.
That's the Finagle, man. You might as well get a McLaren if you want your doors to go up like that.
Yeah,
You need to get the 720.
This car actually didn't do as well as I thought
It didn't do
was.
as well at it. Yeah.
You need this.
And it actually,
That-
depending
That's
on
a
what year you
Finagle
got, it
too.
aged pretty bad.
You need to go ahead and. Why are you playing with yourself when you could just go get a Maserati?
But this was electric. This was a high performance electric. They're bankrupt now, so.
Yeah.
And by the way, the BMW i8 not a good seller. You can pick them up pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what the Porsche electric does.
It's a nice car.
It's nice. It's a Porsche and it's electric, but
Yeah.
it's still
I'm
not a
ready to see
Tesla.
what it does. Yeah, I'm ready to see.
They
It's still
showed
not
you what
Tesla.
it does.
I'm ready to see what it sells like. What
Oh.
it does.
I mean, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
it's gonna sell to Porsche lovers.
It will.
Of course, they're diehard
They buy the name.
fans. They're gonna buy it.
Yeah, they like Apple people. They're
Yeah.
Porsche. And I gotta admit, my friend he showed my Tesla and he drives a Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
He was really impressed with my Tesla, and he actually wants a Tesla, not a Porsche now. But he is he likes the new Porsche. He's reserved after driving. He's like they have a lot to hold up to after he drove even mine. He goes and he's looking at a Model S. He drove my Model 3 and he's like, oh. This performs like he's driving a $100,000 Porsche. He's like, you're like performing, and you only paid what? You paid half what I paid for my Porsche.
Exactly.
So, I've been hearing Linus Tech this more from Tom. Linus has a white power dude flashing the white power hand sign and someone...
Wow.
I don't believe that. And if you try to tell me this means white power, fuck you. I think that's like outrage marketing.
What was it?
Someone said when you're doing the OK now, it means white power or some bullshit. I think some people just look for articles because you'll click on them and share them on fucking...
I've literally seen people that are fucking white power people do it.
Yeah.
This could stand for like 3-point. This could stand for Bloods. This could stand for my name starts with B.
And it's also that...
Also could stand for white power.
It also, I've seen it as a joke. Hey, look at this asshole.
I guess, bro.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah,
it's
hard
to deny it when you've seen it.
I've seen them do it, but the other side, it's one of those things like, oh, let's take over this. Like, if white power people wear rainbows, well, the gay people get mad? I mean, then we go, oh, is the rainbow a white power or a gay symbol now? At some point, it's just outrage marketing.
They could do that.
They could, but it's outrage marketing more than I think it's a real thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I see someone with a little SS on their neck or something like that. Okay, you got a different thing. If you go through the trouble of tattooing a Nazi symbol on your body, okay, I'm going to go, all right, you are part of something.
Jim Cole said, is he talking about this situation where he said it started as a 4chan joke? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the whole scenario that Levi brought up, so.
I don't know either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no self say, yeah. So, yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not denying there ain't some assholes out there. I am completely aware that there are some highly racist people out there. There are definitely some hate groups. There's definitely plenty of them right here.
I can't imagine a reason why you would see a bunch of cops throwing up this.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm not familiar with the sign, or I haven't seen it.
I've seen a bunch of people sharing it on Facebook, so I've seen the article.
Yeah, I definitely don't. Not.
It felt weird to me that someone's doing that because I know a lot of people for a long time. It was a joke, like this is a butthole. And you go, hey, look, and they do this, and you look, and you're like, hey, fuck you. It was like a joke between a lot of people. That had been going on for a long time, so I don't know.
The world is a scary and dangerous place.
Life imitates 4chan. You're not fucking wrong. 4chan or 8chan, that's for sure.
I mean, I've seen that symbol throughout my life, but it never meant white power. Like I said, like I've seen gang members throw that up.
This is like the perfect.
This
is the very, very perfect example of like what it's like to be in a court. You got people who feel very strongly about one way and just know exactly this is how this is, and you have people that are like, no fucking way. I mean, I've seen this my entire life. This is normal, right? And then you know, this is how shit happens.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
Yeah, so no self. So it's recent. I mean, I don't know. It's not something. Trust me, when I was younger, I knew plenty of these people. I went to school with them. I have family members who were involved in such things. I come from a racist family. I'm highly aware of how awful people they are. This is not. You know, I've never seen them do that. I've seen them do way worse, though. Don't worry. I mean, they're fucking awful people. There's a reason I don't talk to them.
Yes. Well, yeah.
That's a whole different topic. We're way off topic.
Yeah,
Secret handshakes.
Oh, that's a thing, too. Secret handshakes. I don't know if white power people have a secret handshake. They might.
I think it's this.
You think that's it? I don't know.
I'm going to have to do some research.
I have to do some research on this.
I would just leave it.
Let me see. Movies.
I think you'll end up in a rabbit hole, and it's probably not worth the research. Movies, though. El Camino is out. That's what I'm going to watch tonight.
El Camino?
Yeah, it's the... you a Breaking Bad fan?
No. Oh, it's a spinoff, right?
It's the... So one of the unanswered questions at the end of Breaking Bad is what happens to Jesse. Jesse leaves. Yep. He runs.
Yep.
But that's it. He runs off into the dark. So it's the follow-up story. The reviews have been good on it so far. People say it picks right up where Jesse ran off.
Okay.
And Jesse is an awesome actor. I like the guy that plays that character. And it picks up and follows his life. And it's a movie, not another series, not even a spin-off. It's just like people want to know what happened to Jesse. So the writers got together and they wrote Jesse's story. And turned into a movie, and apparently the reviews are good on it. It looks interesting, so that's what I'm gonna be watching probably tonight when I get home. It's just I want to know what Jesse's story is.
I have one. I can't think of the name. It's a French film. It's a French film about. Is it a Muslim guy that gets locked up in some place? I can't. Hold on. I'll Google it.
You know what? Do you know what movie I want to find again?
Mm-hmm.
There's an independent film. It's a Sundance film I watched forever ago, and it was about it was about someone who straps a bomb to himself. So it's like, set in the Middle East, someone who's supposed to be a suicide bomber. And it's, hopefully I didn't get us banned by saying that on the channel. But it's really an interesting thing where the person just makes a decision they're going to do this. This girl's going to carry out this act. So she calls all the people, follows through with it to the point of getting to the point where she's supposed to be. She presses the button and nothing happens. And now she doesn't know what to do. It's intense. It is a very intense short film that was made. I can't remember the name of it, but boy, was it good. It was one of those edge of your seat type the whole time. And it's constantly from her perspective. You only ever hear what she hears on the phone when she talks to people. They go through all the training with her. They walk you through what happens. Now she goes into a total panic of, what do I do now?
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And she starts questioning everything because it doesn't happen. And you're questioning it with them. But they twist it from her perspective of why she's doing it, why she wants to be a martyr, et cetera, et cetera. It's an intense movie for sure. I like movies like that really make you, that real intenseness that you get from it and everything else, that it draws you in.
Sheesh.
Someone asked me for my Tesla offer code. I'm working on it. Oh, I know where it is. It's on my website.
Okay, yeah, I got it. So it's a French film. It's called Un Profit.
Is that the one I was talking about? Or
Oh no, this
found
is
it? Okay.
the film. My recommendation.
Your recommendation.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is my recommendation.
Wait, where'd my Tesla go? It's supposed to be on here. Did my staff not put it in here?
It's a very good film. People should watch it.
My Tesla offer code was on my website. I thought my staff didn't put it on there. Damn them.
Oh, Snowpiercer's on Netflix. That movie's been out. I saw
What movie's that?
Snowpiercer.
I've had people mention. I've never watched it, so I don't know anything about it. It looks really interesting.
I've had that movie on bootleg for forever.
So I'll drop my Tesla code in. There we go. It's on the bottom of all my videos, by the way. There we go. Oh, I can't say. There. I dropped it in there as a Irishman by Scorsese. Yeah. I seen that coming up. That's interesting.
Oh yeah. That is gonna be interesting.
Willy Wonka's sequel theory? What?
Zeta said you recommend any Python books?
No. Sorry.
You don't recommend any Python books?
I've never read a Python book.
So I'll actually drop something on you guys.
Said, okay, nap time for this guy.
Yeah. I'll drop something on you guys, though. If you go over to Reddit/r/open directories, you will find a list of hacker books.
There you go.
So that's a good list.
How about you just, like for whoever asks for Python books, did you go and look at the free books that I offer inside of my database? Because there's probably Python books there.
So we'll switch this real quick. I can't link to this directly, but we'll throw it in the show notes.
Yes.
Please don't-hack.me/book/hacking. So please don't hack me. And by the way, I made this a screenshot for those of you that are looking for this. There's quite a few books in here. Look at all these books. Look at all these books and books and books and a few more books. So get them while they're here. They won't be here long before this person runs out of bandwidth.
Yes.
Actually, books don't take up too much room. There's a lot of PDFs. I mean, when we talk about bandwidth now, this would have killed a server a few years ago. Now you get so much bandwidth. Books aren't that big of a download. Just videos are the problem now.
Yeah.
So I'll leave this up on the screen here. I can't post it in the forum links because it won't. Excuse me, it won't let me. But yeah, this is actually kind of cool though. I dropped this in DC 313 as well. So if you're looking for them, and by the way, the first top one here was to say Violent Python, a cookbook for hackers, forensic analysis, pen testers, and security engineers. So there's our Python book recommendation. I didn't read this book, by the way. I just happened to find it on the web and notice it was the top one in there. I can't tell you if it's any good, but I can tell you where it is. You have to assess the quality of that book. So that will be in the show notes. I'll throw it in our show notes. Why not? That'll probably get us banned on YouTube, right? But at least we shared some knowledge before we were banned.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we have? I turned the AC on, so we're not dying quite as bad. It's cooling off in here.
Are you okay, Zay? Are you gonna make
You
it?
feeling a little better? You got to remind me next time. You got to see like Tom, crank that AC. Well, you won't have to pretty soon. You'd be like, Tom, turn the heat up. Oh,
All right.
go to Floatplane. Oh yeah, that's Linus's new venture. I don't know. Floatplane is the dumbest name ever.
What's Floatplane?
So Linus Tech Tips has the idea to compete against YouTube, and they're calling it Floatplane, where you can get his videos without ads because he's not putting on the YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. He's probably a big enough creator to do that and has a big enough fan following. But the other thing I'll mention is when you try to even Google Floatplane, planes that land on water come up. Like way higher in SEO than Linus's Floatplane idea. I'm like, why did you give it this stupid name, Linus?
Yeah, that's terrible.
I don't know even know what the URL is. I know it's not floatplane.com. I'll just tell you that.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not
He's
that.
gonna have
It's a Canadian thing. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know what the name was, if it was supposed to be a temp name, but all I know is if you look up Floatplane, you don't find pictures of Linus, you don't even find a website. You find a bunch of planes that land on water with those little float planes. That's the actual name of the devices on them. They're planes that fucking float. So the name makes sense for a plane, not a video service.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
understand.
maybe you think he can make it popular.
Well, I mean, it looks like he's trying to brand it as Floatplane Club, which does rank.
Okay.
differently.
It's been a while since I looked. I mean, he's been promoting it for like a year.
Floatplane Club, I guess. Floatplaneclub.com has a HTTP server test page powered by CentOS. So, floatplaneclub.com is what I got. You got floatplane.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this is his thing he's running here. I know he worked with a couple people on there. So Tech Deals, Linus Tech Tips, Bitwit. Oh, I didn't know Epos Fox was on there. I actually like, he's a pretty cool YouTube guy. But it's supposed to be like a subscription service. So you pay money and you get to watch their videos without ads. What does it cost to join? Does it tell me? I don't know. Why am I promoting this? I'm not on it. Screw these guys. That's like I didn't get an invite. Apparently I'm not part of the cool kids. I don't have enough subscribers.
But isn't that like what Patreon is for?
Yeah, Patreon. Well, the problem is you donate to Patreon to help your favorite subscribers. The other side of that is you don't. You still have to watch ads on YouTube unless
okay.
you know. And the reality is, any company that's tried to compete with YouTube, they have trouble with the bandwidth. There's some internet reports. They talk again about how much bandwidth of the internet. Mm-hmm. There's a large percentage of the internet that's just YouTube. When you try to compete with YouTube, you want to get the scalable views. People have run out of money. And we're talking people well funded. I can't remember the name of the company that tanked last that tried to compete with YouTube. They ran out of money paying for server time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was just like, they're like, the creators, oh yeah, we can buy the creators. They're willing to, they had a deal with the creators where they would pay them to release their video 7 days earlier on their platform before they release it, so they knew their fans would come over, because you can watch your stuff 7 days before on our platform. They had a really solid business model. Then the bandwidth bill came in, and they're like, shit, we thought we spent a lot on creators. Turns out running a server farm that's scalable, flexible, and can serve the volume of data. When you're talking, I think someone said 11 or 12% of the internet is YouTube right now.
Yeah, they don't understand how people consume those videos.
Yeah, and once you try to start running the bandwidth on there, Google purposely has not broke out the numbers of YouTube versus Google. So Google has Alphabet. Alphabet's the parent company, and they divide it up. Nest is an Alphabet company, not a Google company. Even though Google owns them, Alphabet owns Google. So they divide up all the companies, and they all have separate ledgers, except for YouTube. YouTube is blended into Google as one piece. So the speculation is that YouTube actually loses money, but Google gains so much insight from the data on it that it's worth funding all that back-end data because it helps them sell ads. So if YouTube were to stand on its own as a company, it loses money. But as a data gathering source, so you can sell better ads on the Google platform, it makes sense to combine it because they've never split YouTube as its own entity. That's why we don't have actual dollars and cents numbers for YouTube other than what they tell us because it's blended in Google's $40 billion a year they make. How much was YouTube? Part of the $40 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of a funny, fuzzy and interesting piece of it. So
Another interesting story I read. I know we talked a lot about Twitter and their 2FA using phone numbers, but I just read an article today that said Twitter used the phone numbers that people use for their 2FA
Yes, they
to
did.
target them with ads.
Yep, that was in the Hacker News, and Twitter said, "Oops." They tried to say it was a mistake. Really? Right. Yeah. That's that thing we talked about last week. And I've repeated this many times. I look at social media that I use. I'm controlling the narrative. Any information that I gave to them, I never expected them to keep private. I expected them to expose it in some way.
Yeah.
If you flip through all the photos, matter of fact, I will pull it up on on the thing here. So, here, oh God, there's so much stupid in here. So here's Tom's photo stream, which you can be bored with. I'll even scroll a little further. Oh, look. So, these are my photo stream. By the way, please note, I'm not taking pictures of anything that is of any interest. Why? Because it goes to the Google Cloud. I control the narrative on the Google Cloud. That narrative is always going to be boring. I don't even know why I took pictures of some of these things. I do know I took a picture of that. My wife was unimpressed. I was like, cougar. She's like, what? Oh, fuck you. That's what she said. So, and by the way, all this shit gets posted on Facebook anyways. Picture of Steve making that. Stupid things. People's business cards I took pictures of. Not, really minor dumb shit. So, I screenshot Twitter things I think is funny. So, I mean, that's stupid but funny. These are the dumb things that I do. So, like I said, my photo stream is super boring.
So when they analyze it,
you can analyze it and go, God, this guy doesn't do a goddamn thing. I do. I just don't do anything interesting that I share with social media, that I share on Google. Who wants to see my backyard? I mean, there's a picture of that in here too.
What's the site we just looked at? What was that? WeLeak Info?
Oh, WeLeak Info.
Yeah, I think someone in the chat just asked about if it was a have I been pwned for phone numbers. I think you can put your phone number into WeLeak Info and it'll tell you.
Yep, I just dropped in there. It lets me post that. It wouldn't let me post the other one. It kept saying denied. So, but that one let me post.
Yes. So,
Yep.
Michael, now you can see if your phone number has been a part of a breach.
Yeah. Has my phone number been part of how many? I want to know how many breaches. I've had the same phone number. So, by the way, if you can't find my cell phone number, I'm disappointed in you as a hacker because I've had the same phone number now for over 20 years. It's every fucking where. It's not kind of somewhere. It's the same phone number.
There is a tool. They just switched it up. It's called Water Breach, and it tells you how many times and exactly where your information was breached, like on what site. And that.
Oh, interesting. My phone number's only been breached once. But I know it's out there. It's not hard to find me because it's part of numerous databases. Like if you're doing some OSINT on me, you'll find my phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my. It's not anyone who's a hacker who's spent any time researching me, you know my home address. If someone says, "Hey, your Tesla," which by the way, my Tesla doesn't show my home address, it shows my neighbor's address, which I think close enough.
Nice.
I have a wide driveway. But if you don't know my home address, you obviously haven't taken the time to look up the Wayne County property record search. Like, it literally, and I've been a dick sometimes, I won't lie. I didn't dox a guy, but I kind of did. I got in an argument on Facebook once with a guy who, how how would I describe it? He was trying to brag or trying to say that he had a nicer house than me or whatever, and he was more successful than me, another computer guy. I don't know why he thought that would be funny to do. So I pointed out that the property records transferred came from his parents' name to him on a deal that was filed. Because, by the way, you have to register with the Wayne County Register of Deeds every deal you file.
Yeah.
And his parents gave him his mansion. He had really wealthy parents, by the way, so it took me no time at all to find all the real estate investments that his parents had. The fact that they did a quick claim deed and gave him the house. They gave him a house in Bloomfield Hills. So I admit he had a nice house in Bloomfield Hills.
Gave him a house.
I admit also that there's the record. They gave it to him on a quick claim deed. So I'm not trying to be a dick, but maybe I did share his property records right on Facebook, which he got really angry about. He also quit arguing with me. It's like, Mom and Daddy didn't give me a mansion in Bloomfield Hills. It would have been cool if they did, though.
Zay Unseen Oni asks, how's the OSCP lab going?
Stressful.
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 What box are you on? Did you do paint yet? Nope. He'll get to it. It's called paint for a reason.
80 people I worked with sign up for Adult Friend Finder.
Yes, they all sign up with their work emails.
They do. That's the best.
Stop signing up for these services with your work email, please.
Please, especially Adult Friend Finder.
Especially Adult Friend Finder.
Don't even sign up for that. I don't care what email you use.
Right, exactly.
That's nothing but spam, my friend. All right, we have actually gone way over this time. I think we're just babbling at this point, and people are just hanging out with us. There's 87
we
people
just hanging
watching
out.
us.
We're just kicking it
We're
on
hanging
Friday.
out, kicking it back. Xavier's sweating a little, so he's making some faces.
No.
You tired, Xavier? You ready to go home?
But it's time to
No.
go enjoy the rest of our Friday. I know you guys want to enjoy
talking.
the rest
I
of.
am hacking.
Okay, fair enough. I can't even see his screen,
It's like,
which reminds me I should just go buy the screen thing.
Yes.
Dude,
be
he's
like that.
Xavier's definitely deep in a box right now. We can't see his screen, but I feel he's deep in something.
I mean, you guys got it. Like I don't talk movies. I don't have a life, so I'll let you guys have the life portion of the show. Yes, that's not really.
Go to Tinder, but sign up for Jerk Pass first. Okay, fair enough. Not wrong. Well, we have reached the end of the show. We have covered everything.
Everything.
And then things you didn't even want us to cover. You didn't even know we were going to cover these next few topics.
Just get you a little extra.
Just hang out with us today. 86 of you, 45 likes. Click a couple more likes for us. It does help. I love seeing that we're well over 2,000 subscribers now. We're probably getting close to monetization.
Thank you.
We had a company reach out to us, which we'll rename nameless because we have to talk about that.
Okay.
I dropped the link, I think, to Xavier, or maybe I dropped it in How They Get Hacked. We'll talk about it afterwards. Someone want to reach out, sponsor a show, but I think once we get enough thing, we will have some show sponsors that want to talk. That we'll have to talk about because we do have to keep the lights on. Excuse me, keep the lights on, pay the bills, buy the whiskey. By the way, all this whiskey was donated from monies from Well, I'd actually already bought it, but then I donated the money to pay for it. So we'll just do it in post.
Nice.
On my Thursday channel, they said, how do we donate money to How They Get Hacked? We can't pay yet. I said, no, we haven't monetized it yet. I said, but just if you give me the money, I'll forward it. And $50 was given.
Nice.
So
thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much. And I know some of you are here for my vlog Thursday. So that was awesome yesterday that people donated $50 and said, please give this to How They Get Hacked. I said, absolutely.
Amazing.
So yeah. So this turns out is $28 for this Toki whiskey. And the Bullet Rye was also like $25.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
there's $4 left over. I don't know. I bought beer. So we'll just consider it the How They Got Hacked money that came from the other vlog Thursday. So very cool.
Very cool.
Thank you for anyone that did that. Is there anything else? Any questions you guys have for us before we leave? Before Xavier hacks something.
Before Xavier presses the button.
Before he presses the button. Yeah, the Japanese whiskey. I looked up Japanese whiskey because I don't know brands. Mm-hmm. I found this brand to be good, but some of them are really expensive. Some were like over $100-something a bottle. I was like, eh. So I went somewhere and they didn't even have the $100 bottle one, but they did have this one. With this one was listed as good but reasonably priced, and like $25 I think is what it was.
Cool.
Less than $30. That's what I remember. I bought a few things. Now I'm going to bring it next week. I'm bringing that smoky one I brought from home. I didn't know you liked the smoky that much.
Mm-hmm.
You got to taste this. It's called mesquite whiskey. So I'll have that. I'll have that, and I'll have the AC cranked down.
Sam said y'all drink like girls.
Let's we drink like girls. What? We all have to drive home. I don't live here. One day we'll be recording remotely, and then it won't matter. We can just get wasted and be at home.
This is true.
It won't matter. We'll be like, I gotta drive home. I can have 3 shots, 4 shots. We'll turn ransomware into a drinking game.
Ransomware bingo.
Ransomware bingo. What Japanese rescue do this is the first one I've ever had. I would say it's really good. This happens to be Toki, T-O-K-I. Suntory Whiskey Toki from the House of Suntory Whiskey, established in 1923.
Drinking this is the reason why I fucking zone out and hack, because that's what that does to me.
I got the same thing. When I'm at home.
Yeah, like I just get alcohol tunnel visions me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like my Adderall.
Yeah, I tunnel vision a lot. So I just hired. If you watch my channel, Brett, who's been around a little while, I just hired him full time, and he realizes my tunnel vision. I had to kick him out of the studio today because I'm, it's how you get things done. I hyper focus on things, so. It's just, green tunnel vision. That's a thing, too. Seeing the green. Anything else? Should we press the button? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in IT are ADD. I'd probably say there's a lot of that. And when you look at ADD from a scientific perspective, ADD is the understimulation of the brain. So people who have ADD are constantly looking for something to stimulate them all the way. And when you're really focusing on a project, you're really focusing on hacking something, on solving a puzzle, you're dealing with complex data sets. How did you build this or how do you build that? You see something that from the outside, if you're not in the work we do, you go, wow, that's really complicated that you do. It is, but it requires our brains to be stimulated to do it. So I guess it's kind of ADD, but it's also kind of the way people in tech work. We're used to having something that hyper stimulates us. That's what makes us almost antisocial, because we can't get that fix from a boring standard conversation about what becomes almost mundane to us. It sounds kind of pompous to say, but the other side, it just ends up how you are. You're like, once you've worked at this level and done this, sitting down and just talking about the day and what the dogs did sounds less exciting all of a sudden. That I don't know. It's kind of a weird psychology. I've read a lot about the psychology of it, and you're right. That's how a lot of people are in tech. We get deeply excited about the super complicated things we do, and the only way we get that fix again is to do something bigger and more complicated next time.
Yeah.
Which pushes us really hard to it. But
that's the reason why I put in my 2-week notice on this Monday.
That's part of the reason that we job hop. Or for me, I landed on owning a business so I could focus on different things. So my only thing I've been able to do right is hire people. And he then
sold his business so that he could hop over to make content.
Yeah. And now I'm hiring people to run my business so I can keep making content and just focus on projects that I go, that's interesting.
Tom's going to spin up a jerk tube. And you can only sign up with jerk
Well, I think
pass.
There might be a jerk tube already. I'm not Googling that, though.
I cannot confirm that Tom does not own jerk tube.
Allegedly.
Cannot confirm.
Hold on, I'm going to hover.com right now. There's a 10-second delay, so I have enough time to buy jerk tube.
There you go.
Jerk.
Jason would like to know what's the name of the privacy screen protector that you're using.
3M?
It's a 3M privacy screen protector.
3M. Purchased.
Someone bought it.
Oh, somebody already bought it.
Someone bought. How does that even happen? Look at this stuff. Jerktube.com is. I'm not opening it on air, though. I'm going to throw that out there. I have a real strong feeling I know what that is.
Oh, that's for sure going to be...
It's not something I want to share right now.
Nah.
What about Jerk Pass?
Let's have a look, shalln't we?
Available, $12.99.
What?
What?
Oh, I know
Wait.
who that is. That's somebody.
Wait.
That's a.
Hold on.
Was
We
there-
need to know when this was registered.
Right. When was that registered?
When was jerkpass.com? Was it after we started the podcast?
Yes, it was after we started the podcast.
So, oh, hold on. Let me close all these. Just open another one. Let's see. Oh, 2017.
Cloudflare.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real thing.
Okay, it's a real thing. 2017. Okay. Anyways. So someone already registered jerkpass.com. I'm curious enough to open it in an incognito window.
It's probably just there. It's probably nothing.
Oh no, it's totally up your alley.
It's a park site of shit.
It's totally up his alley.
Do I have a new target?
Passwords for girl sites.
Do I have a new target?
No, it's just a whole bunch of links to passwords for girly
Yeah.
sites.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I steal the combos.
I'm
Pro
curious.
tip. Pro tip. Still a
Oh,
combo.
this is a parking site too. Jerktube.com turns out to be a parking site.
Yep.
Oh well. All right, we have jerked off enough here. We gotta stop. It's Bron. It's a password sharing site. Yeah, that's actually funny that it is already a password sharing site, so we can't even fork it like we thought.
Somebody beat us to the idea.
Someone beat us to it. Oh,
Somebody
all right.
got there first.
Got there first. Stickers on laptop are like pineapples on pizza. Yeah, they're awesome.
Mm-hmm. Depending on who you are.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you are. I know who Sam Sheridan is. He just wants to brag about his Mercedes.
He said, what did he say? They got the C63S?
Yeah, well, he's
AMG. Don't
he's got
forget
the-
about the AMG.
Oh,
He's got the AMG. He's got that AMG in
Not
there.
forget about the AMG.
He lives across the pond, so he's got to say Z, not zero.
Oh.
There you go.
I got to make fun of him a little bit.
Zed.
Zed. He should have bought a Tesla. They got Teslas over there across the pond. You can charge them up over in England. They got electricity over there.
Yeah, electricity. For now.
Oh, let's see. I think that's it. By the way, Sam is working on some PF Sense videos. He actually did a video. He said he got inspired. He messaged me and he's got inspired to do a. There's a little board you can get. He how is it called? PC Engines, I think, and he did a video on that.
Okay.
So I encouraged him to do some video content and things like that. So cool. Oh, he said stop making fun of him. Well, that ain't gonna happen. We're America now, man. We left the whole England thing, so we get to make fun of you. That's like one of the rights we earned when we left.
Yep.
We dropped all those extra vowels out of our colors
That and no
everything.
taxation without representation.
Oh, bullshit. We completely fucked ourselves in that. We have complete taxation without representation. That's why we left, but we've come full circle and screwed ourselves.
At least it's happening in this country.
Yeah, it's happening on our own terms. We're screwing ourselves. We're not being screwed by some,
you go.
royalty.
True. But then, never mind. I'm not going to get into the politics.
No, there's
We'll
no
be here for
context.
another 3 hours.
Yeah, we'll be here for another hours. We talk about that. So I'll say Brexit, because that's a good conversation starter while Xavier presses the button so we don't have to talk about Brexit.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you
Take
later.
care.